Before we start, John and Kali,
Yeah.
if somebody asked you right now if the Earth was flat, what would you say?
Well,
Yes
well,
or no?
I'm convinced it's not a globe. That's what I'm
Okay.
convinced.
Oh, there you go. And how about you, John?
Yes, I'm leaning towards that now.
Couple flat earthers. Great.
Yeah. Why I wanted this interview? Like I told you, I need to have your presence with my friends in Fiji. See,
Okay,
Fiji, yeah,
now I remember. Now I remember. Yes.
yeah.
And you're the guy that has some interactions with people from Kiribati.
Yeah, we know a lot of Kiribati people.
Okay.
They are our neighbors, really.
All right.
So Fiji is not too far away from Kiribati.
How
It's
far
called
away is
Kiribati.
that? How can you go on a boat?
Yeah. They use Fiji as their international airport.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it was not news to me when you said that, because we know for a fact that they sell their flags to other countries for their ships to carry their flags.
Flags. I mean, they sell flags.
Yeah, like it becomes a ship that is registered in Kiribati, so it flies the Kiribati flag.
So their major export is flags.
Well, they sell fish, but
flags and fish. Okay.
Yeah, there's not much money going around there, So for them, it's a serious business for them, To
I get it.
Ships registered in their place. Yeah.
Why do you think that America and China and other countries are giving them billions of dollars?
Well, America used it as a airstrip in the World War II, so it's a bit of history there. And they usually come to Fiji a lot. It's called Kiribati. It's called Kiribati.
Kiribati, not
Kiribati.
The
T is pronounced
like an S.
Yes, yeah.
Kiribati.
They are Micronesians compared to us in Fiji. We're Melanesians. We are mixed. Fiji is like a hub. We are a mix of Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian. They're basically Micronesian. Yeah, and there's some other, like the Hawaiians are Polynesians, and Solomon and PNG are basically Melanesians. In Fiji, we have a mix because we kind of in the center.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to begin?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about just to share the international dateline, that line you were sharing where it turns to Kiribati. Okay.
Yeah.
Initially, the 12 o'clock, the center was in Paris, and they shifted it to London. When they shifted it to London, then the 180 meridian came straight to Fiji. But because part of Fiji was in the center of the 180 that goes down, if you follow the 180, and Fiji, they had to shift it about. Yeah, they shifted it a bit in.
Where's Fiji? Is this Fiji right here? Where's Fiji? No, that's not Fiji.
Fiji is.
It's over here.
Yeah. Yeah, where this it turns, where you got this turn. Yeah.
Yes.
Just
right
a bit to your right. Yeah.
Yes, right there. Those two islands. You point
okay,
out.
that's my first guess.
Yeah. So and then when 2000 millennium, we know that Samoa shifted. Samoa is a bit to the left of. Sorry, to the right of Fiji. If you look at Fiji, to the right of Fiji, because we were kind of fighting who's going to meet the first sun.
Okay, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, because then the first day begins there.
Yeah,
that's what happened there. But then Kiribati shifted it later. It shifted the international dateline even more. So the day actually starts from there.
I think they switched the date line. They move these time zones around just like they move our time here where we have daylight savings time in the USA. I don't know if you guys have it there. I think they
Yeah.
do it just to confuse people, so people stop
Yeah,
trying to figure it out.
this one is a permanent state. They made it like that. So
Yeah.
So it's But that
This
was
makes
just
absolutely zero sense on a globe. On a globe, there should be 24 lines from pole to pole. There's no varying. There should be no variation.
no, yeah.
It's just
But
interesting that Kiribati is right
Yeah,
here.
it was.
I'll probably forget how to pronounce it after this show, and I'll be calling
Yeah,
it again.
it's okay. It's okay.
All right. It's also interesting that when you search on Google Earth now for Kiribati,
Yeah.
to spell it properly, it doesn't show up. That changed. And
Okay.
it's also curious that that they did nuclear testing there. You know,
Yeah, in Christmas Island, some of our
now Christmas Island, is that Kiribati or is that another island?
No, that's another island.
Totally different.
Kiribati was initially Gilbert and the Ellis Islands.
Okay.
Initially, and then when they had independence, one became Wallis and Futuna, and one became Kiribati.
Okay.
Yeah, two separate places.
All right.
Sorry, groups. Yeah.
Can you angle your camera down a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah. There you
Like
go.
that?
Yeah, much better. Much better.
Oh.
There you go. I just talking to a couple of heads.
Oh, sorry about that.
I felt like I was at Easter Island, you know? I just had that.
Maybe we are.
I'm pretty sure you have full bodies like those heads do. So,
Oh, yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
What would you like to discuss today?
well, number one, I've watched a lot of your videos, I must say, but my friend here, John has not. So if you could just show us, how fast we moving, are we supposed to be moving, if it was a globe,
Yeah. So these are speeds that we can't even comprehend. First, people have no idea how high things are. This is only 120,000 feet, about 20 miles. And when you're up that high, the earth turns white because the atmosphere just becomes opaque. So, we have these pictures from outer space, vivid color. They're like cartoons because they are cartoons. And NASA, the farther away you get, the clearer Earth becomes. That's just crazy. And when you talk about the speeds of the Earth, this is the motions. We're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour. You cannot fathom what that speed is, right? We're chasing the sun at just under 500,000 miles per hour. Again, if you can't fathom what 66,000 is, you can't fathom what 500,000 is. And the what I like to show is the hypersonic sled track. This is NASA has this rocket sled, and it goes by at Mach 8.6 times the speed of sound, right? So watch it again. You can't even see it. And this is hard to fathom how fast this thing is going, right? I wish I had sound because the sound is shocking when it goes by, the shock wave, right?
It's just like a bullet.
Yeah, well, it's faster than a bullet. It's faster. Yeah. And could you imagine what twice that speed is? Probably not easily, right? I mean, you could imagine it, but you can't really fathom it, right? But you have to believe that the Earth is going in its orbit around the sun 10 times faster than that.
Right.
And it's chasing the sun 100 times faster than that. I'm now into the realms of speeds that your mind can't even imagine. We're going 10 times faster than that. We got a lumpy ball, a lumpy rock, surrounded by smooth, curved water that no one's ever seen, surrounded by high pressure air adjacent to a vacuum. All of this is ridiculous. It is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and all the water isn't going to the equator. Otherwise, everybody would be underwater at the equator. And it's going around the sun at 10 times faster than this, and chasing the sun at 100 times faster than this. But when we go out into nature, we see stuff like this, right? All of these motions are going on, and we see stuff like this. They've got humanity so bamboozled that they'll believe it because a guy with a pocket protector and a bow tie told them that this is going on. But all of their senses, all of their common, God-given common senses are telling them all of that is nonsense, right? And when we see stuff like this is it. We're done. Earth is flat. There's nothing else to discuss. We're not moving. Right now, Earth is flat. That doesn't look too flat to me, right? This is where the Globers go because they got nothing. They're like, oh, what about Mount Everest? What about the Mariana Trench? Yes, it's a topographical, non-rotating, level, horizontal plane.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
It's funny because every point I bring up today, by itself, destroys the globe. But people go, well, yeah, I know you brought up those 50 things that are really can't argue against, but what about the motion of the stars? Well, why do you want to talk about the motion of the stars when a star is supposed to be a ball of gas in a vacuum that's burning, right? Our sun, they tell us it burns. I forget the number. I should look it up again, but I think it's like 100 billion tons of fuel. It's either every second, every minute, or every hour or something like that. But it really doesn't matter. Even if it was every day, 100 billion tons a day for billions of years, and the sun doesn't get any smaller.
Well, in fiction, you can just name your figure. So you don't have to worry about it.
Thank you. That's a good way to put it. The Earth is measurably flat. All of the assumptions, I'm saying assumptions, all of the measurements for the globe are assumed. They're all assumed. None of them are measured because when you measure the Earth, it's flat. And when people want to talk about the motions of the lights in the sky, first let's talk about what those lights are. Could we see a star at that distance?
Yeah. For me, I come from a separate island that we are talking here from Suva, the capital of Fiji. By the way, from Fiji, we have to say Mbula to you, Mbula. That's saying hello in
Mbula.
So, I know it's we in a few minutes, but Mbula, David.
All right. So thank you.
So we are where we are is about 60 miles away from the island where I originally come from. And the highest peak there is like 800 meters, just 800 meters.
Okay.
I see the whole island from here.
How far is it?
60 miles.
Yeah. So I'm sure the math on that doesn't work on a globe. I mean,
it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I've told my friends, and some of them who are so-called, learned or so, they tell me about refraction, and I said, okay, I worked it out. We're using a formula. Why don't you give me a formula that uses refraction? And they just look at me like they don't know. And I said, then if you don't give me a refraction formula, then don't tell me that I'm telling you hogwash, because I can see the island like it's just there, all the time.
Yeah, so
and I should be seeing the island.
Here's the thing. People love talking about refraction. And so if I could see boats on the water for, mile after mile after mile after mile after mile, at 3 miles away, a small boat has to refract up 6 feet to look like it's at my eye level. And then the boat that's 10 miles away, the same boat that's 10 miles away, has to refract up 66 feet. Right? And the boat that's, 20 miles away has to refract up 400 feet or whatever it is. Okay. And they all refract up at their perfect amount. So they all line up to be horizontal. Okay. This is the definition of insanity for anyone to believe this, or just
I agree with that, because it doesn't make sense to me.
It makes no sense. And so here, you guys know what frozen lake is? I don't know if you know what ice is. You guys know what ice is?
Yes. Yeah.
We see a lot of movies. That's a tropical joke. You've never seen have you ever seen a frozen lake? Have you ever been on a frozen lake?
Movies. All movies, yeah.
Only in the movies, though. You've never walked on ice.
No.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. You ever see snow?
I haven't. I've never.
Never made a
My
snowball?
friend John probably has, but I haven't. I've never.
That's fascinating to me. Fascinating. And by the way, it sucks. All right, frozen. When everything's frozen, it sucks. I'd rather be in Fiji. Okay. Next, yeah, maybe I'll come see you in Fiji next time it's
Oh,
free.
you definitely should. Definitely should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I come to Fiji, we'll get together. So
Sure.
here's a lake, 8 miles, frozen, and we did it. And the guy that did this did it at night. He got his P1000. It's 6 inches off the ice, so we know how high it is to the ice. He also verified that the ice, there wasn't any lumps or anything. Everything was level, and he's got these lights 8, 7, 6, and 5 miles away. Now, with refraction, there should be 30 feet of curvature, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet, but somehow they all show up on the same line. Kind of like trying to trick us, trying to make us think that the Earth is flat because all of our measurements, and that's it. I mean, you can't scream refraction. And the famous picture of Chicago over Lake Michigan, 50 miles away or whatever the number is. They say it's refracting up. It's a mirage. But we had guys that got on a boat, they could see it, and they kept it in the camera, and they went 50 miles across the lake, and it never changed. Now, if it was a mirage, it would be disappearing. It would be, going all over the place. Yeah. So
yeah, I definitely believe that it's not as they say, because it's as flat as probably ice.
yeah.
It's
Ice, water needs to be contained. Water at rest lies flat, and when it gets cold, it freezes flat.
Right.
Yeah.
It freezes. Yeah. And the other thing, the stars, that's what I have 2 kids. They're adults. And I told them, about, I was just sharing them with the flat earth and all that. And I said, how come we see the same stars all the time when we're moving so far away all the time?
Well,
and yet when you look up, we still see the same stars.
This is by David Shane, by the way. He's a great flat earther with amazing telescopes. And this is Betelgeuse, or I forget which one this was. Actually, I know which one it is. This one is Betelgeuse. Right?
Oh, Betelgeuse, yeah.
This is Betelgeuse. Amazing. A beautiful star. It's fantastic. And, this is in focus. I'm zoomed in really tight, so it's a little fuzzy. But we're supposed to believe that that's like 200 light years away. A light year is into something else. You can't fathom the distance of a light year. It's ridiculous. Right? And so that's a burning ball of gas in way bigger than our sun that we can see with our naked eye. It's the dumbest thing ever. Everything with stars is wrong. You can't have a burning ball of gas that burns forever in a vacuum, right? Gas, as we know, violently fills the available space always, right? If you had a pocket of gas in a room with low pressure or no pressure, it's going to fill the room instantly. So it's going to evenly spread out. But in space, for some reason, when you get enough gas, it collapses upon itself in such great quantities that it could burn forever, or nuclear fission or whatever it's doing, supposedly, out forever. And it just never gets any smaller. It never changes, right? And then the sizes and the distances are unfathomable. Right?
Yeah. A long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Yeah. So like this is Betelgeuse and this is our sun, that dot right there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Wait, why is our sun so small? Okay. I mean, it's so stupid, the sizes, nearly 1,000 Earths can fit in Jupiter, and Jupiter is another gas giant. If it had just a little more gas, it would have ignited and we would have had 2 suns in the sky. Right? Jupiter is made of 99% helium and hydrogen, and it has more gravity than all of the other planets combined. Right? These are stories. These are, a story is like an explanation. I can explain how you two don't have bodies below your waist. You're just like the Easter Island heads. Okay? But I can explain it, but it's just a story. All right?
Yeah.
Right? I need some proof.
Yeah, and we just seeing the bust of David.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like that. But you know, the one that was if you could just tell us about again about the what you call the Polaris star. What's that? You know, that's supposed to be
Polaris, the
so
North
far away.
Star.
The North Star, yeah. And you know how you can compare the sizes, and so that it can be scientifically proven that you know it's not true, the size, you know, as far.
Yes.
And yeah, could you
I
just
was
go
just
through that?
about to do that, but give me a second here. So this is all right. So if our sun was the size that they tell us, and we brought it, it was just a couple miles directly over the Earth. I'm just doing this for scale. You're not going to burn up and die,
Yes.
right? If the sun was literally, 50 miles, 100 miles, whatever, above your head, it would fill the entire sky because it's so giant and we're just a little grain of sand next to it, right? It would
Right.
fill the entire sky, right? So we move it 93 million miles away and it becomes like the sun that we see. Hold a coin up at arm's length, you can block the sun. So it reduced
Yes.
from the entire sky, horizon to horizon. You would agree that it would be all you can see if it was just a couple miles over your head, right?
Yep.
You move it away, it's the size of a coin. So that's 93 million miles, they tell us, or 8 light seconds. Another ridiculous thing, right? If we doubled the distance, twice as far, it's going to be 1/4 of the size, according to the inverse square law. Okay? Some
Yes,
people
because
say
you
it would be
doubled
half,
it.
say it would be
Yes,
half
yes.
the size. Well, wait a minute. It went from the entire sky to that size. So if we double the distance, it would be the size of like a pencil eraser. It'd be tiny. And then if we doubled
Right.
it again, it would be 1/4 of that size. If we doubled it again, it's literally going to be like a star,
Right.
right? So that would be 8 times the distance. 8 times 8 light minutes is light hour. We'll round off. Okay. 8 times 8, 64, 1 hour. At 1 light hour away, our sun is now the size of a star. If we made it 2 light hours, could we see it?
It's too far.
It would be
Can't see.
tiny. Whoa. What is going
2
on?
light years.
Oh, you know what?
What was that?
So I just the new operating system, if I go like this, it recognizes
Yeah. I noticed that. I
if
noticed
I
that.
go like that, I guess that's
And
balloons.
the balloon goes.
I guess that's wait, and 2 thumbs up is something else. No, fireworks. And then wait, 2 thumbs down, I think is rain. No, that's the thumbs down. God, this is so fun. Wait, I think this is something. Now that I'm going to get yelled at for this. Wait, I have to go like that. The lasers. I did not even know that happened on Zoom. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, back.
We learn things every day.
Yeah, well, there we go. A little sidetrack there. They're monitoring our movements now. Now next is going to be reading my lips and then telling me what I can't say. That's next. So we're at a light hour. It's a star. 2 light hours could be a faint star. 4 light hours, you can't see it. 8 light hours, definitely can't see it.
Yeah, 8 light hours.
Farther than that, a light day. We're at 1 light day. Scientifically, provably, even globers will agree that you can't see something. So the sun at 1 light day away is beyond too small to see, right? This is just math and understanding perspective and size. So how does that help us with Polaris? Polaris, they say, is 46 times bigger than the sun. Let's call it 50 times bigger. Let's just say it's bigger, okay? We'll give the globe every benefit of the doubt. So if we made it 50 light days away, its size would be equally impossible to see. 50 light days away. That's not even 2 months, right? 50 light days away because the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon and 400 times farther. Therefore, they look like they're the same size. I'm afraid I'm making gestures. I'm wondering what's going to come up on the screen. Okay, and so at 50 light days away, it's scientifically provable that you cannot see Polaris. And also, as things get farther, they get dimmer. The inverse law of light also. So we'll ignore the dimness, which is a big factor. and we'll just pretend that it doesn't that it stays bright. You can't see it at 50 light days away. Let's round it up to a year, a light year. You definitely can't see it at a light year. And they tell us Polaris is 430 light years away. And people think that they can see it. Okay. Again, as I said earlier, every single thing that we point out today on its own disproves the heliononsensical BS model. Just proves it. It absolutely proves it.
Yeah. At 1 light year, we shouldn't be able to see it.
We shouldn't be able to see it at 2 light months.
But then they tell
here,
us
I'm giving the globe the benefit of every doubt, and still it doesn't work. So yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So how about this? So the other thing is people say, well, how come you guys can't see the North Star, right? Why is that? Because you're upside down on the south. And wait a minute, you're in the north. You're in the southern hemisphere, right?
Southern hemisphere.
Yeah, it's just too far.
It's too far. As things go into the distance, they get compressed into the horizon. That's it. It's easy. The North Star has been seen as far as 30 degrees south, which is impossible on a globe, but on the right conditions, on a clear day with the right telescope, it has been seen. And the Southern Cross has been seen from Texas here in the United States, right? On the right day, clear. So, if you can't see something, globe. You can't see it, globe. No, you can't see my house right now if you go outside because the Earth is a globe or because of a million other reasons. Atmosphere, topographics, your eye vision, there's a million reasons that you can't see it. But the globers say, oh, you can't see something, globe. But then if we can see it, refraction, right? Things don't refract up from behind something solid. Now, yes, things get wavy when you look just a half a mile down the beach. Things become wavy because you got that marine layer of air. That layer of air across the ground is the thickest, and it distorts things. Absolutely, it compresses things. But that's just because you're looking through density. If you're in a big swimming pool with perfectly clear water, Olympic-sized swimming pool, you can't see the wall at the other end. Even though the water's clear, it's just become because of the density of the fluid, the water, and the air is the same thing. It's a fluid. So that's so that's it. It's like, the example I give is you're in a room and we're together and there's lights in the ceiling in all different patterns, and we could say, oh, look, there's a starfish and there's a bull and there's a snake, and then we extend that room to 10 miles wide and you go for a walk. You're 5 miles away. I yell, you can't hear me because the sound spreads out and gets thinner and thinner because you're 5 miles away. I can't yell 5 miles, right? It's the same thing with light. Also does the same thing. It spreads, it gets dimmer, but I can't see you because the ceiling and the floor have merged together literally in a tenth of a mile, a quarter of a mile. A 10-foot high ceiling will literally look like it's touching the floor. Now I could zoom in with a telescope and I could open that up and see farther. But if I call you and say, hey, what's up with those lights? Can you see the star and the snake and the everything? And you're like, no, I see completely different lights because you're looking up at different lights. We're in a giant room. The farther away you are, you see different lights. It's that simple. It's that simple. And have you seen this? This is a little hologram maker. So this screw is down on the bottom of that, but it looks like it's right there. That's a hologram. That's a hologram.
Okay.
That's not real. Right? Look. It's not there. Perhaps we are in some sort of dome. There's all sorts of crazy optics here. Maybe that's how we see the moon, right? That penny is not there. What if that's how we see the moon?
Yeah, the moon is quite a mystery because we have a lot of instances here where we see the sun and the moon at the same time, and then if it's a quarter moon, half of the it's just the sky that you see past the moon. So certainly the story about the moon is no way near what they say.
So wait, let's talk about the story of the moon. Here's the thing: when you're talking to somebody that believes in the globe, before they start asking you questions, you need to ask them questions, right? Ask them, how fast is the Earth spinning? What's the diameter? How far is it from the sun? How did they determine how far the sun was? How big is the sun? What's our orbital speed? Just they don't know any of these questions, right? And then just say, wait a minute, you're asking me, who's been studying this for however long, and you don't even know your own model. You're defending something you don't know, right? So how is the moon formed? Now they might know that crazy story. Remember, I told you what it is. And the story is, I think the mainstream story is that another planet or asteroid crashed into the Earth and knocked off a quarter of it, and it went flying into space, and then it coalesced into a perfect ball out of 250,000 miles away, and one side always faces the Earth. That's the official story. Thank you for laughing, because it's not even funny. It's stupid, right? But people like, I can't figure that out. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough. And the answer is, yeah, you're not stupid. It's stupid. You're not stupid. It's stupid. The whole heliocentric model is so dumb, but it's told to us with such confidence by people that are in places that we're supposed to respect. They have PhDs and they're professors and teachers. And they tell it, and it's in textbooks, and we've known it since we were brainwashed with it at age 2. They've programmed our minds, created our entire reality around this fake, satanic globe that limits our ability to reach our full potential. Because if you're trapped in a ball and you're insignificant flying through space, you are weakened. You are weakened.
Yeah, you'd have to be.
Yeah. So
yeah, so with the Earth not being a globe, could you just show us your Earth pond so that John can appreciate what that side of it?
What do you want me to show?
The Earth pond, the Earth pond, and how it's supposed to be instead of the flat disc that's flying over, in space that people come up with.
Oh, just like the a model of what the flat Earth is supposed to look like.
Yeah, talk about the Earth pond. The pond that with the sides and.
Maybe that.
Right. That's the one.
So
that's the one.
Yeah, so this is just a model. Now, we don't have a perfect model, but the flat Earth model, we actually have a model. It's what I was just showing a minute ago with that toroid. We are literally on this plane inside a toroid, and all of the motions of the stars and the planets, all of that matches with it. But again, I try not to go there because it's more advanced than the normal non-thinking glober mind is. When you're talking to somebody, that if you go too deep into stuff that makes their brain really, really think, they give up. So I try to keep it very, very simple. Large bodies of water need to be contained. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. If you look at, you know what? I even have that. I have that. Where do I have that? Large bodies of water at rest need containment. Where is my, sometimes I add something new and it's like, where is it? Here we go. Here we go. 1 second. That, all right. So these are the average heights of all of the continents. Antarctica. Okay. This is Antarctica. Right? So if you reduce the whole world down to a pond, with all the islands on it, and each island has its different height. These islands are all at different heights. This would be a very tall island unless it was the shoreline of the pond around us. When it's the shoreline, it contains the water. Antarctica is the high. This is the average elevation. Look, it's more than double of any two. Isn't that a coincidence? Isn't that? That's to me, you know, that should make you. It should make you. Yeah, it should make you wonder. You know, and then, they want you to. You know, this is photo of the shoreline of Antarctica, and this is what they want you to believe when you hear the ice wall. Right? You know, this is the shoreline of a lake. This is the shoreline of an ocean. This is very tall. It's like 200 feet tall here.
Right.
So, you know, when you Google flat Earth, they want you to believe this is what flat Earthers think. No flat Earther thinks that. Not even you, John. Nobody. Nobody thinks that, right? But they want non-thinking people that are Googling for the results. You know, it's like if somebody just robbed your house and then you come up to them in the street and say, "Did you rob my house?" And they're like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, okay." All right. That's what, when you're Googling, that's what you're doing. You're asking the guy that's robbing you if he robbed you. Right. And that's literally what's going on.
You know, Dave, just before it was much easier just searching your deep down the rabbit hole.
Deep inside the rabbit hole.
But now there's so many other pop-ups that that come that you'd have to be someone who'd already seen your website to recognize the correct one.
So there's two websites. And the easiest one to remember is flatearthdave.com. And that'll take you, it actually goes to theflatearthpodcast.com, but it's easy to remember flatearthdave.com. And that's where you find that's all flat Earth, all flat Earth. All the stuff is there. But if you want to find about all of the other stuff that I've talked about in the past, stoplookthink.com. That's the new deep inside the rabbit hole. Stoplookthink.com. And there's some flat Earth stuff there, but you know, all of the other deceptions that are going on in the world, they're all there. And that's where you can find it, but Google won't bring you to it. You have to know stoplookthink.com. You know, people are like, you know, where's the ice wall? You know, why don't you jump off the edge? Well, this is the ice wall right here. This is it. This is a film of the shoreline of Antarctica. Right? They want you to believe that this is just a big an iceberg. This is the shoreline of Antarctica. Now, is the whole thing like that? No, there's some areas where there's not. It's graduated, just like you guys have a shoreline. You know, you might have a cliff in some area, and some areas is a beach. But the Antarctica is the highest land on Earth, right? And it's one of two places on Earth that you can't see from alleged satellites. There's no images, there's no photographs, there's just images, pictures, there's just, you know, cartoons. These are all cartoons.
It's interesting. You know what you show with trying to trace Antarctica on Google Earth.
Yes,
I tried that a few years back, and then it was interesting that you started showing it. I said, hey, because that was one of the first things that I tried when I heard you talk about Captain Cook.
Yeah.
So I tested it. That doesn't work with it.
Well, they fixed it though on the Google Earth Pro, but on the web version, they still haven't been able to fix it. So you do it and you get this crazy, this crazy outline. Like, what is going on there? And now, if you think about it, how they brought the whole world together. That is, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So, so the only two places that you can't go is the North Pole and the South Pole, virtually or physically, because those are two places that will tell you that the Earth is globe or flat. and they don't want us going. They don't want us going there. So here is let's pretend this. We got the whole world here, and this is America, right? You guys are way out here. So if let's say this is before they had radio and television and internet, and everyone's living all over the world, but they drew a circle around here, right? And they put up a big wall here, big wall, like, and you can't go through there. And so we got all of U.S., Canada, Mexico, a little bit of South America, and they said, okay, they cut it out, they wrapped it around a sphere, and they said, this is where you live, and you're not allowed to explore down here. You're only allowed to go to the very edge with a guided tour, but no one's allowed to go out here in the middle, because out here in the middle is out there. It's out there, right? It's out there, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you went off on you went on a boat off and you went out to sea, you can go out a ways, but then they stop you and they say, oh, you can't go any farther because you're going to be coming to here. Any straight line would bring you to here, right? And so this is all you would know. That's all you would know. And so you wouldn't know about Fiji or Australia or Hawaii. You wouldn't know that there's people, that Australia exists. You wouldn't know about anything. So you're limited. And people, well, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? You're being limited. You're being limited, right? Now, we don't need to speculate what's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, but I like to, so I'm going to, right? And so anyone that doesn't like it, take a hike, all right? So here is where we live. Like if we lived here and this is Antarctica, out here would be extra territory, extraterrestrials could live out here. Yeah. And I have an idea how the same sun could light us up here and light us up here. I'll show you that in a second. I gotta do a demonstration of how that works. And another sun out here, right? And so what if they did the same thing? They cut that out, they wrapped it around a sphere and said, this is where you live, right? But you can't go here. You can go right to this little tip right here, right? How would you know? This is the only place that we could really go explore Antarctica, right here, the little island called Deception Island and Rothschild Island. And you're being limited, right? It's a prison for your mind, and it takes you away from your ability to even imagine. Because if you believe wholeheartedly, without question, with the point of ridiculing anyone else that questions it, then you can't even imagine. When someone says, I can't imagine, that's because they can't imagine. I can imagine, right? I can look, right? But what if all of these ponds were other worlds? This is possible on a flat Earth plane. Outer space, as we talked about before, is scientifically impossible. Now, there may only be, the edge of our world might be Antarctica. I don't know. I think there's definitely more hidden land, and there's a lot of information. Somebody has been communicating with me recently, and we also had other reports of people that were on special ops, that were working special ops in Antarctica. And they said that there's millions of people in Antarctica, cities of people that aren't allowed to communicate here. That's why it's all guarded. Like if you went out, you'd find other lands. Maybe they're going out beyond and going to these other lands. Maybe that, and they're just calling that Antarctica. If you had a pond in the middle of Fiji, let's say it's just a mile around in the middle of Fiji with some islands in it, and that's your entire world, and the rest of Fiji is outer space.
Good.
Okay? There's more, right? But you're in your pond arguing with your friend going, well, what the difference does it make? We're good. This is it. There's nothing else. It doesn't make any difference. Sure, it makes a difference. Sure, it makes a big, big difference.
Yeah, I remember from when I was much younger, there were a lot of coastal guard ships from the United States that used to come up Fiji. And we used to go in school tours and enter the boats.
Yeah.
And they were coming from Antarctica. All the time they said they were coming from Antarctica.
Really?
And, Yeah, Coast Guard ships. Yeah, when I was a kid. I
Yeah,
was born in I was
where are
born
they?
in 1963.
We're the same age.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I don't identify with chronological age. So that's just
No, no. Yeah, it's just one of those ages. Yeah.
it's just one of those numbers. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I'm younger than a lot of the people that say they're, in their 20s. I don't
It's
believe.
good to be older in things and younger in things.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I going to show you? I was going to show you. Oh, yeah. So my whole Kiribati thing, where there's ships going out, and anything south of 60, everyone's like, oh, that's Antarctica. No, they're going out to the outer lands,
Yeah,
right?
that's what got me kind of, I was a bit when I first started going into flat Earth. I used to listen to Rob Skibbe a lot
Yeah.
from the biblical approach, and then he was talking about one time a few books, and I managed to get some of those books and I read them. One of them was King's Dethroned, on
Yeah.
how they calculated the distance of the sun and how it was so much of an error. And I was thinking, how come our forefathers? Because we was it's if you trace our history, we are one of the best known seafarers ever, because we were traveling these places when Europe was, and then I thought, we're so far from everywhere else, and yet I think there's openings in the Antarctica. Why we came here? Why did we choose to come this direction? That's always been a bother for me. And then when I heard that we're not allowed to travel there, I said, how come?
Right.
Shouldn't be like it. We should be able to just travel like
Yeah.
before.
Like this little opening here, and if you
Right.
have you read or listened to the Iron Republic?
I've read I'm reading the Iron Republic, but I just downloaded the book.
Yeah.
And I'm actually trying to read it so that
Yeah,
I can...
you can read it or listen to it. It's on. You can just Google it. The Morgile channel he did a great narration of it, and it's good. It's about 5 hours. It's an awesome. I've listened to it many times, and it's great. But anything beyond here in a globe mind would be like, oh, that's you're in Antarctica, right? But this is just more. There's more out here. You got to remember, this is a couple thousand miles wide, right?
Right. Yeah,
This
yeah,
is a
yeah.
couple thousand miles right here, right? So
Of
how
course,
would you know? How would you know what's out here? How would you know? So again, I think this is the most important topic of all, of understanding what is out here, all of these other continents. This is just local. This is just could be just a tiny fraction of what's out there, right? And if you went from Santiago to the center of this continent right here, they could tell you you're at Antarctica, right? This is bigger than the United States, Canada, and Mexico combined. Okay. This is gigantic. So you pull up to the middle of this, they go, you're at Antarctica. How would you know? You don't know. You don't know what's to your left or to your right. This is thousands and thousands of miles. And so you're there and you leave, you come back, you don't even know. So all of these ships that we see going in the middle of Antarctica, that's a glitch on their system, with showing us the truth of ships going out. There was at one point we saw literally a line of ships crossing Antarctica. That would be a line of ships heading out out to the outer lands.
Right.
All the wars in the world are over power, money, and land resources. Well, what if you had access to all of these and say, I'm not going to tell the common man about this because they're going to want a piece of it, right? They're going to want to be able to go there. I need them to work in our factories. I need them to, harvest their energy, and keep them in fear and keep them trapped in their prison and then not know it. That's how they put us on a ball. A ball is a prison for your mind. Prison for your mind.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all, because in Fiji, the biggest thing now that we're having is people are leaving Fiji to work offshore, overseas. So they're shipping people out just to work and doing menial tasks. It's like disowning your sovereignty when I think about it.
If you think about it, you know, this world is it's so different from what we've been told. You know, we live inside this toroidal field. It's made of pure energy. Now, who made it? What it is? Are we in the mind of God? Whatever. That's all. We can talk about that forever and ever. But there is free energy. It's provable, right? There's free energy. Cars and planes can run on air and water and all sorts of stuff. So imagine if you didn't have to pay for electricity or for fuel, gas for your car, for your home, whatever. You guys probably don't heat your home. But if you didn't have to pay for any of that, all of that was free, and you can have as much of it as you wanted to be able to do whatever you wanted. Would that free you up a little bit? Would that free that? Would that make you more of a? Absolutely, would make you more free, and it would make you more creative and give you more access to literally, you know, create a better world and better things to thrive. So they have us, they control us with power. You know, here in America, we had Nikola Tesla had built for the World's Fair. He built a free energy tower in New York. It was sending free energy. And JP Morgan's like, wait, how do we bill people for this? And he's like, well, you can't, it's free energy. And so so think about JP Morgan, he owned the railroads that carry the coal from his coal mines, that carried from the lumber from his lumbering companies to make telegraph poles. He owned the copper wire mines that made the copper wire to run electricity. And he's like, wait a minute, if this goes true, all of my businesses will fail. If Tesla is allowed to give out free energy, all of his investments will fail. And that's why he took over the world. He literally took over the world and shut it down, right? So they control us with power and fear, restricting, resources. And so why would they share? You know, what if we had access to go beyond Antarctica and we found other civilizations like the Iron Republic that have all of that stuff? Then the word would get back and everyone would be a revolution and they would lose power. They can't let us know. I was talking before about the special ops people in that were in Antarctica, and one of them said that the millions of people there in cities, they can't communicate with the inner world. Oh, there's fucking. I wonder if I can move it. Can I move it? Can I move it? I can't move it. All right. One of them was
interactive, so we could do it as well.
That was one of them was rain. I think, was that rain? There's the rain.
Yeah, there's
the rain. Oh boy.
Great stuff, man.
Yeah. So wait,
okay.
You don't have my app.
I can't have. See, I don't have credit card.
Okay,
and
I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you my app. I'm going to give you my app. What type of phone do you have?
I have a Samsung Galaxy.
Perfect. I will. Yeah. I'm going to send you a download code so you can go to the App Store, to the Google Play Store, and then when it comes time to pay, just instead of credit card, check the bottom one that says coupon code, and then I'll give you the code.
Okay.
All right.
And thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
I've been looking at your ad for.
I'll give you a couple one. John, you too. You have an Android phone also? You have an Android phone?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for that.
And it's amazing. Let's take a look at the friend finder real quick in Fiji. Let's see. Fiji would be over.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Fiji.
Yeah.
There's nobody on Fiji.
That's Fiji. Yeah, that's Fiji. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to see 2 blue dots there after today. Okay. There's nobody on Fiji. All right.
see, one of the reason why I wanted to
I want to see a dozen dots there before July. Okay, that's pretty easy.
That's why we had to do this, try and get people to touch. There's a lot of us.
You're falling behind, my friend. Look at the world. Look at the world.
Yeah.
Look at this. All right. You are now the flat earth mayor of Fiji. I crown you the flat earth mayor of Fiji. All right. I want to see Fiji looking like this. All right. All right. If we look at even down here in New Zealand, they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. I want to see Fiji at least look like this.
Oh, yes.
All right.
That's good, man. Show us some of your flights.
Southern flights. So
yes.
I'm going to show you how to use on the app. You just type in Southern, right? And here are all the Southern flights. They're all here. So here's one from from South America, not from Africa, South Africa, over to Australia. They go all the way up to Dubai or to Hong Kong or to Malaysia. That's crazy. It goes over the equator. Never, ever, if you're going from a southern airport to any other southern airport, would you ever, for any reason, need to go above the equator? But they do. In the north, going from any two northern airports, anywhere, anytime, there's no reason you would ever have to go below the equator, and they don't. Ever. No northern flights cross the equator. If the Earth was a ball, it would be the same situation for south to south or north to north. But on a flat Earth, where the north is inside the circle of the equator, which is right here, so you would never have to cross. But in the south, you have to cross to get far distances. This alone absolutely destroys the globe. Absolutely destroys the globe. So,
there was one emergency flight that came through Fiji.
Oh, the emergency landing.
I know that happened.
Yeah. Is it on here? I should add that one to this. It's is that it? No, that's not it. I can just go over here. Give me a second. So, Southern flights. Yeah. Here it is. Here it is, Fiji. Boom. So this is the flight from New York to New Zealand, who has a lot of flat earthers, and you guys don't have any. You're in charge, okay? You're in charge. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of codes so you can even give it to them for free. All right?
Listen, thank you.
All right. The first 20 people on Fiji get the app for free. All right.
Okay.
All right. And so emergency happened here and they went to Fiji. Why would you do that? That's like 1,000 miles. I don't know, 500 miles, 1,000 miles, right? Straight line. There's Fiji. New Zealand, right? The map has it off to the side. Right? Yeah. So that's
I actually also downloaded the book that the 16 flights or
16 emergency landings.
Yeah, I downloaded it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. The guy did all the work. Laying out all the information. It's all there. Another one which I really like is going from Sydney to all places in America to Mexico. Right? Here's Hawaii. They're all north of Hawaii. On a globe, then they should never be north of Hawaii.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. Right? They're all north of Hawaii. They should all be south of Hawaii. Go look at a globe.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Again, this alone should tell you they're lying to us about the shape of the world. And also, why are we even talking about flight routes? how do you have an airplane flying in an atmosphere adjacent to a void on a ball that's spinning with a gyro that keeps the thing level? It would never, none of it works. Why are we even talking about flight routes? Right?
Yeah.
It's like people's like, well, how does an airplane fly? I'm like, how are we even alive if we lived on a globe? We should start there. We don't have to talk about anything. Humans could not live on a globe in a space vacuum. All right. So we really don't need to talk about anything else other than the physics of a globe in a space vacuum, spinning and whirling and twirling and, evolution. It's all so stupid. It's so stupid. I get, it's early in the morning here and I get riled up.
Oh. Yeah, I just heard you. I think one of the interviews you were having, and you were talking. There's 19. There's 19 what different hour lines, and then coming close to the equator, it's like 20 something, and then at the bottom of the equator, there's more than 30 something
Time zones. So
time zones, right?
Yeah. So if the Earth was a globe, this would be our time zones, like sections of orange. And as the Earth spins, you got your, wherever the sun is, it's noon there, right?
Right.
That's what we should see. But in the north, there's 19 time zones. In the tropics, there's 24 time zones. And in the south, there's 32 time zones. And if you try to look into like, well, why and where, it's so confusing. They're like, well, political reasons, and they wanted to be on the same time zone here. And, it's like your brain just short circuits and goes, I can't figure that out. Okay, But if you look at that, if you take a circle of paper and try to wrap it around a ball, the top half will go pretty good. But as you get lower on that ball, it starts to all have to be crumpled together. Yeah. So you're losing space. So there's 32 times. This alone destroys the globe by itself.
Yeah.
But people don't want to deal. But again, when you're talking to people, I'm on the app here. I'm in the images section. I just typed in time, and here are all the time zones, right? So when you're talking to somebody, you'll be able to pull up these images and show them in real time. It's real easy. Everything is there, right? Here's another thing, right? So on a globe, this is a Mercator map, right? We got the time zones from north to south, right? Yeah. So if we look, the Earth is tilted. Okay, the Earth is tilted. So, I'm in the same time zone as this person, but the Earth is tilted. I should be 3 time zones apart.
Yeah.
It's like it's tilted, right? So the time zones are moved, but they don't account for the tilt in the time zones.
There's no tilt.
Because if you think about it, you got your time zones, but when you tilt it, that section is moved over, several over, right? But it doesn't work. These are all the same time zone. But the Earth is tilted. They forget about the tilt. They don't want you to even think about it, right? The Earth is tilted, right? So the time zone, see how I'm going one time zone, another. I'm in 3 different time zones, but it's tilted. A lot of people just they can't fathom that. It doesn't work at all on a globe at all.
Yeah, it works in the fiction.
Yeah. And so, we all see everything in what I call our personal atmospheric dome. So as the sun moves across the Earth, that point of light that we see in our personal atmospheric dome is at different times. It's early in the morning here. It's late in the afternoon here. It's noon here. The sun's directly above them. Right? It's early. It's late. It works really well. Let me show you. I was gonna show you. Maybe somebody can actually do this experiment for me. So where is it? Dome. Hold on. All right, so here I have just a glass dome on a rug, and I'm bringing a light across the top. And the light, it shows up here, and when you look at this, if you just, it actually looks like a sun. I'm just bringing a pen light across over it, and as I go away, it doesn't go below; it just stops and it fades away. Right now, if I come back, watch, it'll appear, and it moves across the sky. So if you were inside there, that's your sun. That's your apparent sun. It never goes below. It just disappears. And it's all going into the horizon. You'll remember when you're looking across, you're looking through all of the thickest atmosphere. When you're looking up or straight up, you're looking through very little atmosphere, and it gets thinner and thinner and clearer and clearer. But when you're looking across, it all compresses, becomes opaque. And so to you, you see the sun set. Right? So what if our pond was in a dome, and then what if there was another ring, and there was like another dome, kind of like the top half of a donut put over it? So you got our dome, and then you got the half of donut dome, right, that goes over it. And then if I had a sun up there, the sun would be in my dome, just like this, right? And it would also be in the outer dome at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, that certainly is much more possible than a sun that burns, 93 million miles or whatever.
Yeah, the sun that burns. Yeah. I mean, there's so much evidence, and it's, I don't know, I just find it amazing to think about and try to figure this place out. But we know we know that our model, do we have an exact model? It's way better than the globe model. The globe doesn't have any type of model, but our model is actually pretty good. We know that right now it's a little after noon in Central Africa, right? I'm over here. The sun had just came up.
Oh, okay.
The sun just came up because it's coming around. Let me see where you are over here. It's pretty late at night. It's like 9 p.m. for you guys, right?
Yeah, almost 11.
Almost 11 now.
Okay, 11. All right, so it's over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost 11. So yeah, because your time zones are screwed up. That's why. So they make it really difficult, right? They make it really difficult. But that's how it works.
It's how it works, man.
The sunset for you 1, 2, 3, 4 hours ago.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Yeah. Fascinating. All right. Any other things before we?
Yeah, just show us how the compass works. Huh?
Oh, the compass. I don't know, compass work on here. So here is the north is in the center. Anywhere where you put a compass, it'll point to the center, right?
Yeah.
But you're in the southern hemisphere. If the Earth was a globe, the compass should point to the south, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It only points to the north.
Yeah.
So east and west are circles, right? Because as I try to go here, I'll show you better. As I try to go east or west, I have to keep turning to maintain a heading of east or west. So here's my magnet, and here's my compass. The needle is pointing towards the center. West is that way, right? But I have to keep turning to head west. I have to keep turning.
Yes,
Well, I could go. I could leave New York and head east and end up right back where I started. Well, if I go east, look, I got to keep turning. East is a circle on a globe and on a flat Earth. It's a circle. Right? Now, if I try to dead reckon west, straight. So there's west. That stick is pointing west on the compass. Now, I'm not going to look at my compass. I'm just going to follow the stick. Look, I'm heading south. I didn't turn, and I'm heading south. I started going west, and immediately I'm going south. Right now, the compass should have turned a little more, but my magnet isn't strong enough. But every direction away from the center is south, right? So there's north, and south is this way. And if I go south, if I go off of here, I should pop up over here on a globe. If I go from Santiago, I should pop up over here. But if you go south, nobody has ever gone south and come back. Look, I'm heading north. I'm heading north. I'm heading north. I'm still going in a straight line. And look, the compass just did a 180. I'm heading south. Every straight line is south. Every straight line is south. Right? Yeah. People say, well, there was a flight that world record. They went pole to pole. They went from America all the way up here around the North Pole, allegedly, down through Russia, Madagascar, South Pole, and they came all the way back. So there was a world record. They did in like 2.5 days or 1.5 days, whatever it was, right? Look at it on a flat Earth map. This is all they did. They went up here. They went by the North Pole. They went around, and they said they went around a sphere. If you walked around your neighborhood, your whole town, your house is at the center of your town. You walked to the edge of your town, and you walked all the way around your town and got right back to where you started from. Is your town a sphere?
Just walking around.
No.
Just walking around the flat.
You're just walking around. That's all its plane did. It just did a big flight route. Cool. That's it. That's all it did. That's all it did. Right? And, you think about it, in the South, everything's spread out. It's bigger. All sailboats, speed records, or even, maybe it's sailboats or even boats. I think it's sailboats. All of the records are in the north, because you have to measure using GPS run by NASA, and it's up to like 200 miles more per day in the north. Well, that's because in the South, they're lying to you about the distances. The Antarctic sailboat race, right? You know about the Antarctic? Their average speed is like 3 or 4 miles per hour, according to GPS. Wait a minute. 3 or 4 miles per hour. These things go 25, 30 miles an hour, right?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And that's because they're going greater distances than they're being told. They're going greater distances than they're being told.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
there you go. That's how it works.
Any last questions?
All right.
That's
20 people by July. 20 dots there. All right. And then we'll do a group Zoom call with everybody that wants to join. All right.
Just thank you for taking this interview, because there's so many things that's happening around the world, and sometimes we feel that we've missed out in these places, because people just talk on that side of the world,
Yeah, well, you're going to be the man that's responsible for waking up Fiji. All right.
I tell you, a lot of people are already, waking up to this.
This is
reality.
When people, when someone goes, well, what about the flight? Then what about this? And you show them, boom, boom, boom. When they throw their hands up and go, well, what difference does it make? That's when you got them. That's when you got them. That's
a huge difference.
Yeah, well, that's when you can explain how the flat Earth is a prison for your mind, how they keep us slaves, how they make us do menial work, and they keep us in fear. That there is abundance, that we're not running out of anything, that there's more to discover, that all of our history is a lie. Just on the app, if you click the web button, there's all sorts of stuff here. Check out the old world stuff, or if you go to the homeschool.
I've just started seeing John Levy's videos.
Yeah, so the homeschool section is John Levy is linked there, but my favorite is My Lunch Break. Just start watching that. The really good stuff. And then Jake, I'm the Improbable Dreamer. All of this stuff. Amazing, right? Austin Whitsitt, check him out. To get into deeper stuff. But there's all sorts of amazing resources that Google again is hiding from you. So make sure you start using that. Make sure you show people. and then let them download the app. If they're willing to buy the app, let them buy it. But if they can't buy it, give it to them for free. All right. Only Android. So I'm going to send you a whole bunch of codes and you can do it.
Thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then one other thing. I'm going to give you the app is $3, right? But there's a subscription if you want to be able to do messaging and video calls and all sorts of stuff. Like 5% of the app requires a subscription, right? And the subscription's $11 a year. But if you go for you, I want you to click this little gear wheel right here and scroll to the very bottom. And it says enter coupon code. I'm going to give you 2 codes for you guys. Enter them, and then you'll be subscribed. All right.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
All right.
Great.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
Now, I just thank you for allowing us to be able to share this, because we just talk about it and we have nothing to nothing.
Yeah,
to
you
show.
2 are now the 2 smartest, most informed guys on Fiji, and it's your responsibility now to wake up all of Fiji, and I'm holding you responsible. So in the future, when the whole world's waking up and Fiji's still sleeping, I'm gonna go, yeah, I know whose fault it is.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we consider it a privilege that you're saying that.
All right.
We'll have fun. We'll have fun doing it, man.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys, and I'll send you an email in a couple minutes.
Thanks,
Thank
David.
you.
All right, are you gonna put this on your YouTube channel? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Sure. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel.
Put it on your channel.
Yeah.
And send it to me, and send me the link, and I'll share it. All right, so people can find it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks, guys. Have a
Thanks, man.
great evening. See ya.
Yeah, and good morning, USA.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Well,